What I will say with respect to Venezuela, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country.
Tonight, the Trump administration is cracking down on drug cartels at sea. A source briefed on the matter tells NBC News the U.S. is planning to deploy these 3 warships near Venezuela. President Trump focusing on drugs coming to the coasts after reducing illegal border crossings to record lows.
They continue to send drugs into our country, Venezuela. Yeah, they've been very nasty.
The Trump administration also recently doubling to $50 million its reward for the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro, saying he violated U.S. drug laws. Meanwhile, in the fight against traffickers, the Coast Guard says it intercepted more than $138 million worth of drugs in the Caribbean this summer. Earlier this year, the president designated several cartels, as well as the notorious Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, as foreign terrorist organizations.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Ben Dykes Show. The media wants you to watch the destroyers that Trump just sent to Venezuela. They're looking in the wrong place. The most powerful weapon in this fight is completely invisible. You're seeing the headlines, U.S. destroyers, thousands of troops, a massive deployment headed towards Venezuela to stop the cartels. The media is focused on the ships you can see, the visible projection of American power, but they're missing the point entirely. The most important part of the fleet, the piece that changes the entire strategic equation, is the one they can't show you a picture of. It's the submarine. And from my time in the silent service, I can tell you that its mission isn't just to hunt drug runners. It's there to hunt the confidence of an entire regime. So let's connect this to actually what's happening. The Trump administration's officially labeled the Maduro regime a narco-terror cartel. This isn't just semantics. It is a strategic reframing. You don't negotiate with a cartel. You dismantle it. Think of this operation like a high-stakes political campaign against a corrupt machine. Destroyers and spy planes are the public-facing ads, the overt messaging. They signal to the world and to the Venezuelan people that we're serious. The indictments, the $50 million reward for Maduro, the asset seizures. That's the opposition research and legal team digging up the dirt and applying pressure from the inside. That's designed to create fractures and discourage defections. But the submarine, that's the covert field operation. It's the silent, constant pressure that works on the psychology of the leadership. It sends a chilling message, not just to Maduro, but to his backers in Cuba, Russia, China, wherever the hell else they're getting this fentanyl. We're in your backyard. We're listening, and you will not know where we are until it's too late.
And despite pulling off a large-scale prisoner swap with Venezuela last month, President Trump has been increasingly at odds with Maduro.
He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel.
Now, the Venezuelan government has banned drone flights throughout the country amid what it considers a threat from the U.S. A U.S. official tells NBC News the warships will be used for intelligence gathering and surveillance in international waters. Still, Maduro just announced that he's mobilizing militia members across his country in response.
As previously stated in that report by MSNBC, Venezuela is now mobilizing a militia. Militias around 4 million people, and Maduro may have very well kicked up a storm that he doesn't really want to happen. I don't believe he's prepared for this. If there is something done to one of these warships off the coast in international waters, he's opening up a can of worms that he cannot put back in the bottle. Venezuela is a known sponsor of drug trafficking, of narco-terror. Donald Trump has had enough. This isn't about winning a war or starting a war. It's about keeping America safe. And these cities all around the United States are getting destroyed. For years, the fentanyl crisis has been treated as a domestic law enforcement issue. What you're seeing now is a fundamental shift between Trump, and he's treating it as a national security threat posed by a hostile state-sponsored criminal organization. He's using the full spectrum of American power, overt, covert, legal, and financial, to eliminate that threat at its source. The destroyers are for the news cameras. The submarine is for Nicolás Maduro. And I want to show you this other clip where this was brought up during the White House press conference.
Venezuela, and there's 4,000 Marines on board. Are you looking at possibility of boots on the ground there?
What I will say with respect to Venezuela, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country.
As soon as Donald Trump, as soon as Pete Hegseth designated these cartels as terrorist organization, the game changed. Their days were numbered. We have the border secure. Our cities cannot continue to deal with the amount of fentanyl and other chemical substances that are coming into our country. So Trump says we'll take the fight to them. They don't want to listen. Let's go. You can see here, Fox News is finally reporting on this. U.S. warships are going to patrol international waters. We talked about that, 12 nautical miles. This is what it's going to look like. In 24 hours, Nicolás Maduro and Diosdado Cabello will face more than 6 U.S. warships with guided missiles, those are called Tomahawks, off the coast of Venezuela to block the cartel of the Suns. Trump will put an end to Chavista regime's narco-terrorism very soon. You see a submarine, you see 6 warships that are very capable and loaded to the gills to keep America safe. This is where I want my troops deployed. I want my troops on the southern border. I want my troops 12 nautical miles off the coast of Venezuela. And any of these little narco-terror submarines or narco ships that they're rolling out here across the Mediterranean will be caught, will be impounded, and will be destroyed. That's exactly what needs to happen. I'm sure there are people watching right now that have lost family members, have watched lives be destroyed by these chemicals, by these drugs that are being brought into the United States. Leave a comment down below if you know someone that's had their life affected by this. Our prisons are full of people that shouldn't be here, that have brought chemicals and drugs into our country, and we need to get rid of. This is a disgusting timeline that we're seeing. But you see here, USS Gravely, USS Jason Dunham, USS Sampson are the warships being deployed. And look at that little long, black, and full of seamen submarine that's rolling down there. That is to catch these narco submarines. When I was in the Navy, we boarded a few narco subs. They're a makeshift submarine. They are a makeshift submarine that rides just right at the top of the surface to avoid radar. And magically, we had capabilities to find them. In another stunning development that is going to help keep our country safe, listen to what Donald Trump is doing to the southern border.
Remember that a nation without borders is no nation at all. And we're so thankful that we have a president that understands that and understands that a secure border is important to our country's future. Now, if you look at the structure that's behind me, it's tall, which makes it very, very difficult to climb, almost impossible. It also goes deep into the ground, which would make it very difficult, if not impossible, to dig under. And today, we are also going to be painting it black. That is specifically at the request of the president, who understands that in the hot temperatures down here, when something is painted black, it gets even warmer, and it will make it even harder for people to climb. So we are going to be painting the entire southern border wall black to make sure that we encourage individuals to not come into our country illegally, to not break our federal laws, but that they will abide and come to our country the right way so that they can stay and have the opportunity to become United States citizens and pursue the American dream.
Come to our country the right way. Get in line, do it the right way, get vetted. Donald Trump is now painting the entire southern wall black because in the hot sun, it gets melting hot to the point where nobody with little hands can climb over that. Now, sure, they could have some gloves. You're going to need some welding gloves. Good luck climbing with that. It's going to slow you down. It's going to look ominous. It's going to look amazing. And that is exactly what I voted for. A secure border, a nation cut off from drug supplies coming into our country on a daily basis. Guys, this is the Ben Dykes Show. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you watching. Take care.